Hope, Logan, and Thomas Forrester. Strictly professional, and absolutely nobody believes it. The Bold and the Beautiful is once again daring its audience to trust a promise that history has shredded into tiny pieces. Hope, Logan, and Thomas Forrester are standing shoulder to shoulder at Forrester Creations, solemnly vowing that everything between them will be strictly professional. On paper, it sounds mature, responsible, safe. On screen, it feels like a ticking time bomb. The ink on Hope Logan's marriage certificate to Liam Spencer is barely dry, and yet the show has already engineered a workplace reunion that has fans screaming, arguing, and bracing for impact. This isn't subtle storytelling. This is deliberate provocation, and the writers know exactly what they're doing. Thomas Forrester returns at the worst or best possible time. Let's start with the timing, because timing is everything in soap operas, and this timing is aggressively suspicious. Hope Logan married Liam Spencer on December 11th in a wedding that felt like a victory lap for Lope fans. Beth officiated. Douglas returned from Europe. The visuals were soft, sentimental, and drenched in forever. It was the kind of wedding designed to reassure viewers that this couple was finally stable. Then December 18th happened. Just 1 week later, Thomas Forrester walked back into Forrester Creations like a narrative grenade. Matthew Atkinson's return wasn't teased quietly or phased in gently. Thomas surprised Steffi, revealed he'd already been collaborating with Zen behind the scenes, and by December 22nd, he was reinstated as lead designer for Hope for the Future. That escalation was fast, almost aggressive, and the cost of that reinstatement? Hope had to fire her own brother, Deke Sharp. Hope fired her brother for Thomas. Let that sink in. This detail cannot be overstated, and the show clearly doesn't want you to forget it. Hope Logan sacrificed family for Thomas Forrester. Again, the guilt on Hope's face during those scenes wasn't subtle. It wasn't fleeting. It lingered. She didn't just make a business decision. She made a deeply personal one that immediately tethered her success, her integrity, and her emotional stability to Thomas. Hope now needs Thomas to work out. If he fails, she didn't just risk her brand. She destroyed her relationship with her brother for nothing. That kind of emotional weight creates dependency. That kind of pressure blurs lines. And that kind of setup has never, ever ended well for these two. Strictly professional is the most dangerous phrase on this show. After the Deke firing, Thomas did what the show wanted him to do. He pulled Hope aside for a private conversation. He acknowledged her marriage to Liam. He said they've both moved on. He promised that from now on, everything would be strictly professional. He even sealed it with a "you have my word." And Hope nodded along with what recaps carefully described as an interesting look in her eyes. Fans caught it immediately. Not because they're cynical, but because they're experienced. Hope was distracted throughout the entire business meeting leading up to that conversation. She struggled to focus. She kept glancing at Thomas. And when he spoke to her privately, her body language told a completely different story than her words. It was the same look, the same energy, the same quiet unraveling we saw in Rome in 2023, right before she kissed Thomas and detonated her marriage to Liam the first time. This show has trained its audience well, and nobody is buying the nothing to see here act. The writers are feeding both sides on purpose. What makes this storyline especially combustible is how carefully it's being balanced. Lope fans just got their wedding. Thope fans just got the workplace reunion. Hope Logan is standing directly in the middle, pretending she feels nothing while the show makes it painfully obvious that she feels everything. This is not accidental writing. This is classic Bold and the Beautiful strategy. give one fan base emotional security while quietly setting up the next betrayal. The contrast is intentional, and it's why the reaction online has been so intense. The show wants viewers arguing. It wants divided comment sections. It wants anticipation instead of resolution. And it's getting exactly that. The Paris Buckingham disappearance raises major red flags. Now, let's talk about the storyline no one on screen is addressing, but everyone at home has noticed. Thomas Forrester left for Paris in mid-2024, engaged to Paris Buckingham. He returned in December 2025, completely alone. No Paris, no explanation, no emotional fallout. The writers quietly erased her from the picture, and that silence is loud. If Thomas were still engaged, the tension with Hope would be significantly reduced. The stakes would be lower. The boundaries would feel real. But he's not engaged. He's single. He's available. And he's working intimately with the woman he's been obsessed with for years. That isn't coincidence. That's narrative clearing. The romantic chessboard has been reset. Liam Spencer is distracted, and that's not an accident either. While Hope and Thomas are settling into daily proximity, Liam Spencer is consumed by external chaos. He's racing Carter Walton to trademark the name Logan and uncovering loopholes that could seriously hurt Forrester Creations. Yes, the same Forrester Creations where his wife works closely with Thomas. The irony is almost cruel. Liam is emotionally and mentally pulled away from Hope, just as the show places her in a pressure cooker of guilt, temptation, and unresolved history. That imbalance has always been dangerous for Lope, and the writers know it. Liam doesn't see what viewers see. He doesn't notice the looks. He doesn't feel the tension. And by the time he does, it may already be too late. The Beth factor, the line that will never fully heal. No discussion of Hope and Thomas is complete without addressing the non-negotiable truth for a massive portion of the audience. Thomas's past is not forgivable. He hid the truth that Hope's baby was alive. He manipulated her into marriage. He let Emma Barber die. For many fans, this isn't about chemistry or growth. It's about moral boundaries that were permanently crossed. That's why strictly professional isn't the issue. Forgivable is. Thope supporters argue that Thomas has changed. They point to his calmer demeanor, his respect for Hope's marriage, and his willingness to set boundaries. They see this as a slow burn redemption arc. Opponents see manipulation wrapped in maturity language. And they're not wrong to be skeptical. The Beth factor will never go away. No matter how much time passes, that history sits between Hope and Thomas like a shadow the show refuses to fully address. What happens when professional boundaries inevitably blur? If history is any indication, the promise of professionalism won't last. The writers have removed Deke, isolating Hope with Thomas, distracted Liam with family and legal drama, established a boundary that has never held between these characters. Hope now relies on Thomas, not just creatively, but emotionally. She needs him to justify the sacrifice she made. And guilt is one of the most powerful bonding agents in soap storytelling. This is exactly how lines blur. This is exactly how affairs begin. And if past patterns hold, Hope won't be the one resisting when the moment comes. The calm before the next storm. Could Thomas truly be different this time? Possibly. The show may drag this out for months, letting fans debate and dissect every glance and pause before delivering a definitive answer. But one thing feels unmistakably clear. Bold and the Beautiful did not reunite Hope and Thomas in the workplace to keep them professional forever. This is a slow burn. This is deliberate tension. This is history knocking on the door again. And if Liam Spencer isn't paying attention, he may soon find himself reliving a nightmare he thought he'd already survived. Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester, strictly professional. Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester promise, strictly professional. but fans are not buying it on Bold and the Beautiful. Bold and the Beautiful just married Hope Logan to Liam Spencer on December 11th, but Thomas Forrester is already back at Forrester Creations promising to keep things strictly professional. Hope's conflicted body language and the fact that she fired her own brother for Thomas has fans screaming that history is about to repeat itself. Thomas Forrester returns, and the ink on Hope's marriage certificate is barely dry. Let's talk about timing, shall we? Hope Logan walked down the aisle with Liam Spencer on December 11th. Their daughter, Beth, officiated. Douglas flew in from Europe. It was beautiful. It was romantic. It was everything the Lope fans have been waiting for. And then, exactly 1 week later on December 18th, Thomas Forrester strolled back into Forrester Creations like he owned the place. Because of course he did. Matthew Atkinson is back, and the show is not even pretending to be subtle about what they're setting up here. Thomas surprised Steffi Forrester with his return and revealed he's been secretly collaborating with Zend Forrester Dominguez on designs. By December 22nd, Thomas was reinstated as lead designer for Hope for the Future. And Hope? She had to fire her own brother Deke Sharp to make room for him. The guilt on that woman's face was palpable. She sacrificed family for Thomas Forrester. Again, that strictly professional promise means nothing, and everyone knows it. Here's where it gets messy. Thomas pulled Hope aside for some private time after the Deke situation and delivered what was supposed to be a reassuring speech. He acknowledged her marriage to Liam. He said he knows they've both moved on. He promised strictly professional from now on, and even threw in a "you have my word" for good measure. And Hope nodded along with what recaps described as an interesting look in her eyes. She was distracted during the entire business meeting leading up to that conversation. She struggled to focus. She had that look. The same look she had in Rome back in 2023, right before she kissed Thomas and blew up her marriage to Liam the first time. Fans are not stupid. We've seen this movie before, and we know exactly how it ends. The show is feeding both sides right now. Lope just got the wedding. Thope just got the workplace set up. And somewhere in the middle, Hope Logan is standing there pretending she feels nothing while her body language screams otherwise. The Paris Buckingham mystery no one is talking about. Can we address the elephant in the room? Thomas Forrester left for Paris in mid-2024, engaged to Paris Buckingham. He came back in December 2025, completely alone. No Paris. The writers cleared the romantic field, and they did it quietly. If Thomas were still happily engaged, the dramatic tension of his proximity to Hope would be significantly lower. But he's not. He's single. He's back. And he's working closely with the woman he's been obsessed with for years, while her brand new husband is distracted by trademark drama involving Katie Logan and Brooke Logan. Speaking of which, Liam is currently racing Carter Walton to trademark the name Logan and discovered a loophole that could hurt Forrester Creations. You know, the company where his wife works alongside Thomas every single day. The irony is not lost on anyone paying attention. For more on how this workplace dynamic could explode, check out the latest Bold and the Beautiful spoilers to see what's coming next. The Beth factor will never go away. Some fans are screaming chemistry, others are screaming never. And honestly, both sides have valid points. The Thope shippers see this as a slow burn setup. They believe Thomas has genuinely changed and that his calm, corporate demeanor proves he's matured. They think Hope's distraction is the show acknowledging what's been there all along. But the Beth factor is real. This is the same man who learned Hope's baby was alive and hid it for months. He manipulated her into marriage. He let Emma Barber die. For a huge portion of this fan base, strictly professional is not the problem. Forgivable is the problem. And they are never going to forgive Thomas, no matter how many promises he makes. The show is asking fans to place bets, and the comment sections are absolute chaos. What happens when professional boundaries blur? Here's what the writers are doing. They've isolated Hope with Thomas by removing Deke. They've distracted Liam with external family drama. They've established a professional pact that historically has never worked between these two characters. Not in 2019. Not in 2023. Not ever. Hope needs Thomas to succeed now, or she destroyed her relationship with her brother for nothing. That kind of guilt creates bonds. That kind of pressure creates intimacy. And that kind of setup has another affair written all over it. Could this mean Thomas has actually changed? Don't be surprised if the show drags this out for months before giving fans an answer. But given Hope's history of being the one to cross the line first, Liam Spencer should be very, very worried. The bold and the beautiful hot 2026 preview. Cheating risks, broken families, and big betrayals. As the bold and the beautiful moves toward 2026, the CBS soap is positioning itself for one of its most volatile and emotionally charged years in recent memory. The coming storylines promise to fracture families, test romantic loyalties, and reignite rivalries that feel deeply personal rather than purely professional. At the center of the chaos are familiar power players, Logans, Forresters, Spencers, and Sharps, whose alliances and betrayals will drive the show into darker, more explosive territory. The preview for 2026 makes one thing clear. No relationship is safe, no family bond is guaranteed, and no moral line is immune from being crossed. From sibling wars in the fashion world to dangerous obsessions, forbidden romances, and the looming threat of Sheila Carter's return to full-blown villainy, B&B appears ready to push its characters to emotional breaking points. Katie versus Brooke, when sisterhood becomes a battlefield. One of the most emotionally loaded arcs heading into 2026 is the escalating feud between Katie Logan Spencer and Brooke Logan Forrester. This conflict is not simply about business competition. It is about years of unresolved resentment, favoritism, and emotional imbalance finally boiling over. Brooke continues to insist that her actions are just business, but Katie no longer accepts that explanation. To her, Brooke's moves feel calculated, personal, and dismissive of their shared history. The idea that Brooke can compartmentalize professional ambition while ignoring emotional fallout is something Katie outright rejects. As 2026 unfolds, this disagreement is set to intensify, especially once Brooke and Ridge engage in underhanded tactics to ensure Forrester Creation stays on top. Katie's reaction will not be passive. Instead, she becomes more determined than ever to turn her own fashion house into a serious contender, one that does not merely survive but dominates. This storyline marks a shift for Katie. Rather than positioning herself as the quieter, more accommodating Logan sister, she steps fully into a leadership role fueled by defiance and ambition. Her goal is no longer coexistence. It is victory. Bill Spencer's loyalty and his dark side. Bill Spencer's unwavering support of Katie is one of the more intriguing aspects of the 2026 preview. He stands firmly by her side as her professional feud with Brooke intensifies, offering emotional backing, strategic insight, and potentially something more dangerous. Bill has never been a man who plays fair when he feels justified. As Katie's determination grows, the temptation for Bill to engage in dirty tactics becomes increasingly strong. Whether that means corporate sabotage, manipulation, or leveraging his power in ethically questionable ways, Bill's involvement raises the stakes dramatically. The question isn't whether Bill will cross lines. It's whether Katie will stop him or quietly allow it. This dynamic introduces cheating risks, not just in romance, but in business ethics, where loyalty to loved ones can blur moral boundaries. A new fashion house, new faces, and new risks. Katie's fashion house will become a major focal point in 2026, representing both her independence and her defiance of the Forrester legacy. One of her boldest decisions is hiring Deke Sharp, giving him a chance to prove himself as a designer. Deke's involvement is loaded with potential complications. As a Sharp, his family name alone brings baggage. Trust will not come easily, and any misstep could be weaponized by rivals looking to undermine Katie's credibility. Meanwhile, Eric Forrester's unexpected contribution to Katie's fashion house threatens to muddy the waters even further. His involvement is likely well-intentioned, but history suggests Eric has a knack for creating chaos even when trying to help. His actions could unintentionally damage relationships on both sides, particularly with Donna Logan Forrester, who finds herself increasingly torn between her sisters. Donna Logan, the sister caught in the crossfire. Donna's role in this brewing war cannot be understated. Historically loyal to Brooke, Donna now faces a growing internal conflict as she watches Katie fight for respect and autonomy. As Eric's involvement complicates matters, Donna may be forced to make a choice she's avoided for years: remain aligned with Brooke or finally stand beside Katie. This decision has emotional consequences that go beyond business, potentially reshaping Logan family dynamics permanently. A full-blown fashion face-off between Forrester Creations and Katie's house seems inevitable, and Donna's allegiance may determine which side emerges stronger. Will Spencer, Electra Forrester, and the Dylan wildcard? While the adults wage corporate and romantic wars, the younger generation steps into turmoil of their own. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester continue to show compassion toward Dylan, a young woman struggling to get back on her feet? What begins as kindness quickly becomes complicated. There is a strong possibility that Dylan develops feelings for Will, placing her directly between him and Electra. Whether this turns into a traditional love triangle or something more sinister remains to be seen. One scenario suggests Dylan may harbor a dangerous, one-sided obsession, especially if she feels indebted, overlooked, or emotionally abandoned. With Luna Nozawa out of the picture, Dylan could easily fill the role of destabilizer, injecting chaos into Will and Electra's otherwise promising relationship. Obsession, jealousy, and escalating danger. If Dylan's attachment deepens into fixation, the consequences could be severe. Emotional manipulation, lies, or even deliberate sabotage are all possibilities. This storyline taps into a darker psychological space, where vulnerability becomes a weapon rather than a bond. Will and Electra may underestimate the danger at first, assuming good intentions where none exist. By the time they recognize the threat, their relationship, and possibly their safety, could already be compromised. Steffi Forrester's expanding influence. Steffi Forrester Finnegan will play a central role in 2026, particularly as Forrester Creations faces unprecedented competition. Her involvement in the corporate war places her directly opposite Katie, reinforcing long-standing Logan Forrester tensions. Steffi is not known for backing down, and her leadership style is unapologetically aggressive. As pressure mounts, her marriage to Finn may also feel the strain, especially if Finn becomes entangled in the Dylan storyline or forced to mediate emotional fallout. Steffi's ability to balance power, family, and morality will be tested in ways that could redefine her role within the Forrester dynasty. Carter Walton and Daphne Rose. Love under pressure. Carter Walton's romance with Daphne Rose continues to bloom, offering a rare pocket of tenderness amid the chaos. However, their relationship does not exist in a vacuum. As Carter remains deeply involved in the corporate conflict, external pressures threaten to infiltrate their personal lives. Ethical dilemmas, loyalty conflicts, and unforeseen obstacles may challenge their trust and commitment. Cheating risks loom, not necessarily through infidelity, but through secrecy, emotional distance, and divided priorities. Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes, a dangerous attraction. Perhaps the most volatile romantic development heading into 2026 is the undeniable chemistry between Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. Their connection is intense, inappropriate, and seemingly unavoidable. Sparks will fly, leading to a kiss, or possibly something far more intimate. Regardless of how far they go, the emotional betrayal is already significant. Taylor, long associated with stability and moral grounding, risks unraveling her carefully reconstructed life. Deacon, never far from scandal, finds himself once again at the center of temptation and consequence. Sheila Carter, the calm before the storm. No preview would be complete without addressing Sheila Sharp, whose presence looms like a ticking time bomb. News of Deacon and Taylor's involvement could be the trigger that sends Sheila spiraling. If Sheila snaps, the fallout could be catastrophic. History suggests her reactions are rarely subtle or contained. Whether through manipulation, violence, or psychological warfare, Sheila's return to full villain mode could shatter multiple families at once. Broken families and irreversible damage. At its core, the 2026 preview paints a picture of families splintering under pressure. Sisters turn against each other. Parents fail their children. Romantic partners test loyalty and restraint. The concept of family itself is under scrutiny, with characters forced to decide whether blood ties are stronger than ambition, resentment, or desire. A year of consequences. Unlike previous cycles where betrayals were sometimes brushed aside, 2026 appears poised to emphasize consequences. Actions will have lasting effects. Forgiveness will not come easily. Some relationships may never recover. This shift gives the show a heavier, more serialized tone, one that rewards long-term viewers who understand the history behind every conflict. Final outlook for 2026. The Bold and the Beautiful is setting the stage for a year defined by emotional extremes. Cheating risks extend beyond romance into business and loyalty. Broken families struggle to rebuild or collapse entirely. Big betrayals reshape power structures and personal identities. With explosive rivalries, dangerous obsessions, forbidden love, and looming villainy, 2026 promises to be a relentless ride that refuses to let any character remain comfortable for long. For fans, this is classic B&B, sharp, emotional, and unapologetically dramatic, pushing its characters to the edge and daring them to survive the fallout. The Bold and the Beautiful Hot 2026 preview. Cheating risks, broken families, and big betrayals. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B spoilers reveal that we've got a hot 2026 preview for you. B&B will deliver cheating risks, broken families, and big betrayals. So let's talk about what's coming up. For starters, Katie Logan Spencer, Heather Tom, and Brooke Logan Forrester's Catherine Kelly Lang. Bond will head downhill even more as their professional feud heats up. Although Brooke acts like this isn't personal, Katie disagrees and will continue to clash with her sister as 2026 gets underway. After Brooke and Ridge Forrester, Torsten K, play dirty to come out on top, Katie will be even more motivated to make her fashion house a big success and blow away the competition, including Forrester Creations. Bill Spencer, Don Diamant, will remain right by Katie's side through it all and could be tempted to engage in some dirty moves of his own. As for Katie's fashion team, she'll hire Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, and give him a chance to prove he's got what it takes a designer. Next, Eric Forrester, John McCook, may make quite a mess of things once he contributes to Katie's fashion house. So that could leave Donna Logan Forrester, Jennifer Garais, even more torn between her sisters. Will Donna eventually have to turn against Brooke and side with Katie? Regardless, all this should pave the way for a fashion face-off sooner or later. On another note, will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, will keep finding new ways to show their generosity to a down-on-her-luck Dylan, Sydney Bullock. Will Dylan grab part of Will's heart and turn this into a love triangle with Electra? That's one option to consider. But it's also possible Dylan will develop a dangerous, one-sided obsession and make trouble for Will another way. With Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, out of the picture, B&B could use someone else to shake things up for Electra and Will. It seems Dylan could be that person, so don't miss any chaos she might unleash. As for Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInneswood, and John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, they may get pulled into this Dylan storyline as well. Steffi will definitely be a key player in the Forrester Creations mayhem as they go up against Katie's fashion house. Carter Walton, Lauren St. Victor, will remain involved in the corporate conflict while letting love bloom with Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, but they could have some new obstacles ahead of them. Elsewhere, Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig connection should become too powerful to resist. Taylor and Deacon's flying sparks will inevitably lead to a kiss, or maybe even some time between the sheets. Whatever the case, Sheila Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, may get updates on Deacon and Taylor's inappropriate actions. This could be what causes Sheila to finally snap and go totally off the rails again. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say 2026 will bring plenty of powerful moments. So stay tuned for all the stunning news and fierce showdowns. Katie Logan's fashion house needs Sally Spectra and Bold and the beautiful fans. No, it's Sally Spectra returning to Bold and the beautiful AS Katie's. Lead designer would be Glorious Chaos. Katie Logan needs a lead designer for her new fashion house. And we have the perfect candidate rotting away on Young and the Restless. Sally Spectra literally built Spectra Fashions from the ground up and gave the Forresters a run for their money. Bringing her back to Bold and the Beautiful to work for Katie would be the crossover event of our dreams. Katie needs a designer who isn't afraid of the Forresters. Here's the thing about starting a fashion house that's going to compete with Forrester Creations. You need someone with talent, ambition, and absolutely zero fear of the Forrester family. You need someone who has already gone toe-to-toe with them and lived to tell the tale. You need Sally Spectra. Sally is currently wasting away on Young and the Restless, getting tangled up in Newman drama when she should be doing what she does best, designing clothes and causing delicious chaos in Los Angeles. Think about it. Sally Spectra literally revived her Grey Tants fashion house from nothing. She recruited a team, produced collections, and made Spectra Fashions a legitimate threat to Forrester Creations. Yes, there was that whole stealing design scandal, but she learned from it. She grew. She even became the lead designer for Steffi's Intimates line, proving she has the talent to back up the ambition. Katie doesn't need a designer who will play nice. She needs a designer who will play to win. The drama potential is off the charts. Now, let's talk about why this crossover would absolutely break the internet. Sally Spectra has history, with practically everyone on Bold and the Beautiful, and none of it is boring. She dated Thomas Forrester. She kissed Liam Spencer while he was married to Steffi. She was engaged to Wyatt Spencer, who just happens to be Katie's stepson now that Katie married Bill. Speaking of Bill, Sally literally shot at the man, put a hole right through his prized skyscraper model. Imagine the Spencer family dinners. Bill sitting across from the woman who once fired a gun in his direction, who is now working for his wife and used to be engaged to his son. The tension would be absolutely exquisite. Sally has unfinished business with the Forresters. Sally never got her proper revenge on the Forresters. Bill Spencer destroyed Spectra Fashions by blowing up the building while she was still inside it. She got trapped in the rubble with Liam, thinking she was going to die. And what did she get for her trouble? A one-way ticket to Genoa City, where she's been spinning her wheels ever since. Bringing Sally back to design for Katie's Logan fashion house would give her the platform she deserves. She could finally compete with the Forresters on equal footing, backed by Spencer money and freed from the baggage of the Spectra name. Ridge thinks Katie can't compete with Forrester? Wait until he sees Sally Spectra walking through those doors with a sketch pad and a vendetta. Y&R is wasting her potential. Let's be honest about what's happening on Young and the Restless. Sally Spectra is a fashion designer stuck in a world of Newman corporate drama. She's had romances and she's schemed her way through Genoa City, but she's not doing what made her character special in the first place. Sally belongs in a design room, creating collections, competing on runways, and stirring up trouble in the fashion world. Bold and the Beautiful is literally about a fashion empire. The character fits like a glove. Courtney Hope is too talented to be sidelined, and Sally is too iconic to be forgotten. A return to B&B would revitalize the character and give Katie's new fashion house instant credibility with viewers who remember what Sally can do when she's firing on all cylinders. Katie and Sally would be an unstoppable team. Here's what makes this pairing genius. Katie Logan has the business acumen, the PR expertise, and the Spencer money behind her. What she doesn't have is design experience. Sally has design talent in spades, but has always struggled with the business side of things. Together, they would complement each other perfectly. Katie handles the boardroom. Sally handles the sketch pad, and together they burn Forrester Creations to the ground. metaphorically speaking. Probably. Brooke would absolutely lose her mind watching her baby sister team up with Sally to challenge the family empire. Ridge would be furious, Steffi would be plotting, and viewers would be thriving. Make the call, Katie. Sally Spectra is waiting. Katie Logan's fashion house needs Sally Spectra, and Bold and the Beautiful fans know it. If Katie Logan is serious about building a fashion house that can truly stand toe-to-toe with Forrester Creations, then there's one name that should already be written in permanent marker at the top of her organizational chart. Sally Spectra, not as a consultant, not as a temporary collaborator, but as the lead designer. For a long time, the Bold and the Beautiful viewers, the idea feels less like a wild fan fantasy and more like an obvious next move that the show has been circling for years. Katie Logan is stepping into her power, forging an identity separate from Brooke, Ridge, and the Forrester orbit. What she lacks is not money, connections, or ambition. What she lacks is a designer with the fire, talent, and fearlessness to go after the Forresters without blinking. Sally Spectra is that designer, and she is currently being wasted elsewhere. Katie Logan's new era demands a different kind of designer. Katie Logan's fashion house is not meant to be a boutique passion project or a polite competitor that quietly coexists alongside Forrester Creations. Everything about the storyline points to confrontation. This is about legacy, pride, and finally stepping out of Brooke's shadow. Katie isn't trying to be Forrester adjacent. She's trying to be Forrester threatening. That means she cannot afford to hire someone safe. She cannot build this company around designers who idolize Ridge or owe their careers to Eric Forrester. She needs someone who has already fought that family, lost everything, survived, and come back sharper. Sally Spectra didn't just challenge the Forresters once. She built an entire company with the sole purpose of beating them. That alone makes her uniquely qualified. Sally Spectra, a designer forged in war with the Forresters. Sally Spectra didn't inherit power. She earned it in the most chaotic way possible. She resurrected Spectra Fashions from nothing, operating out of a rundown building with limited resources and an enormous chip on her shoulder. She recruited talent. She produced collections. She made Forrester Creations nervous, something very few characters can claim. Yes, Sally crossed lines. Yes, she stole designs. And yes, she paid for it. But what matters is what came after. Sally learned. She evolved. She proved her legitimacy when Steffi Forrester hired her as the lead designer for Intimates. That move alone validated Sally's talent in a way that no amount of scheming ever could. She didn't just survive in the Forrester world. She excelled. Katie Logan doesn't need perfection. She needs experience forged under pressure. And Sally has more of that than almost anyone. Why Sally isn't afraid and why that matters. Starting a fashion house in Los Angeles without fear of the Forresters is not optional. It's essential. Ridge Forrester has a habit of dismissing competitors. Steffi Forrester has a habit of crushing them. Eric Forrester has a habit of meddling in ways that derail everyone else's plans. Any designer who freezes in their presence is already defeated. Sally Spectra doesn't freeze. She's been screamed at by Ridge. She's been underestimated by Steffi. She's been erased by Bill Spencer, and she came back every time. Katie needs that energy, not someone who tiptoes around Forrester egos, but someone who walks into the room already prepared for battle. The drama potential is unmatched. From a storytelling standpoint, bringing Sally back to the Bold and the Beautiful as Katie's lead designer would be narrative gold. Sally has unfinished, emotionally loaded history with nearly every major family on canvas. She dated Thomas Forrester, a relationship steeped in manipulation, obsession, and unresolved tension. She kissed Liam Spencer while he was married to Steffi, triggering fallout that still echoes through the Spencer-Forrester dynamic. She was engaged to Wyatt Spencer, who is now Katie's stepson thanks to her marriage to Bill. And yes, she once fired a gun at Bill Spencer and put a hole through his prized skyscraper model. There is no version of Sally Spectra re-entering Los Angeles quietly. Imagine Bill Spencer sitting across the table from Sally as she presents designs for his wife's fashion house. Imagine Brooke watching her sister partner with a woman who once nearly toppled Forrester Creations. Imagine Ridge realizing the competitor he dismissed has hired the one designer who knows his family's weaknesses inside and out. This is not manufactured drama. This is organic history colliding. Sally never got justice or closure. One of the biggest unresolved injustices in B&B history is how Sally Spectra was written out. Bill Spencer demolished the Spectra Fashions building while Sally was still inside. She was trapped under rubble, believing she might die. Her dream, the company she rebuilt brick by brick, was obliterated. And what did she get in return? No justice, no redemption arc, no triumphant comeback. She was shipped off to Genoa City, where she spent years orbiting Newman drama instead of doing what made her compelling in the first place. Sally never got to win. Katie Logan's fashion house could finally give her that chance. Backed by Spencer money, free from the burden of reviving a legacy name, Sally could compete on equal footing, not as an underdog, but as a legitimate force. That kind of revenge doesn't require explosions. It requires success. Young and the Restless is not where Sally belongs. On The Young and the Restless, Sally Spectra has been reduced to a relationship-driven character trapped in corporate power plays that have nothing to do with her core identity. She is a fashion designer on a show where fashion barely exists. Her scheming, ambition, and creativity feel misaligned with Genoa City's tone. She shines brightest when surrounded by runway deadlines, creative rivalries, and industry egos, not Newman boardrooms. Courtney Hope is far too talented to be confined to storylines that don't use her strengths. And Sally Spectra, as a character, is at her best when she's designing, dreaming, failing, and fighting her way back up. The bold and the beautiful is her natural habitat. Katie and Sally, a perfect power balance. What makes this partnership truly compelling is how well Katie and Sally would complement each other. Katie Logan understands business, branding, public image, and media strategy. She has Spencer resources, Logan instincts, and years of experience navigating high-stakes environments. Sally Spectra understands creativity, fashion, and the emotional heartbeat of a collection. She thrives in pressure cooker environments where passion fuels innovation. Katie lacks design experience. Sally has struggled with structure and long-term strategy. Together, they balance each other. Katie grounds Sally. Sally ignites Katie. That kind of partnership doesn't just challenge Forrester Creations, it destabilizes it. The fallout would be delicious. Brooke would be furious watching Katie align with someone she considers reckless and dangerous. Ridge would dismiss the move until the numbers tell a different story. Steffi would see the threat immediately and begin plotting counterattacks. Eric would feel torn, guilty, and inevitably insert himself in ways that complicate everything. And Bill Spencer would stand back, smirking, knowing he helped bankroll the chaos. This is the kind of storyline B&B thrives on. Personal, layered, and rooted in history. The obvious move the show is avoiding. Bringing Sally Spectra back as Katie Logan's lead designer isn't just fan service. It's smart storytelling. It honors character history. It revitalizes stalled arcs. It creates organic conflict without contrivance. Most importantly, it gives Katie Logan's fashion house immediate credibility, not just within the show's universe, but with longtime viewers who know exactly what Sally is capable of when she's motivated. Katie doesn't need to play nice. She needs to play smart. And Sally Spectra has been waiting for this moment. All it takes is one phone call. Bill Spencer loses his entire mind on Ridge Forrester in Wednesday's explosive B&B spoilers bill. Spencer goes absolutely ballistic on Ridge Forrester over the Logan sister war. Bill Spencer angrily confronts Ridge Forrester on Wednesday's Bold and the Beautiful because nobody messes with his wife and gets away with it. Plus, Carter blames Bill for the Brooke and Katie rift, and Katie cries about Brooke's betrayal. Bill Spencer has had enough. clear your schedule and maybe warn your neighbors about the screaming, because Wednesday's bold and the beautiful features Bill Spencer absolutely losing his mind on Ridge Forrester. According to spoilers, Bill angrily confronts Ridge. And if you know anything about these two, you know angrily is putting it mildly. Bill Spencer doesn't do anything halfway, especially when it comes to defending his woman. The Logan trademark war has officially escalated from sister squabble to full-blown family crisis, and Bill is planting himself firmly on Team Katie. Ridge has been standing around looking handsome, while Brooke blocked Katie from using the Logan name, and now Bill is ready to rip him apart for it. These two men have hated each other for decades, and Wednesday is giving them a fresh excuse to go at it. Bill Spencer versus Ridge Forrester. A tale as old as time. Let's be honest, Bill Spencer and Ridge Forrester don't need much of a reason to fight. They've been circling each other like territorial wolves since Bill first rolled into Los Angeles with his checkbook and his attitude. Don Diamant and Torsten K have perfected the art of the alpha male stare down, and Wednesday is going to give them plenty of opportunity to flex those skills. Bill sees Ridge as an arrogant, self-important designer who's been coasting on his family name for decades. Ridge sees Bill as a brutish businessman who throws money at problems instead of handling them with class. They're both kind of right about each other, which makes their confrontations so delicious to watch. Neither one is going to back down, and Katie's honor is just the latest battlefield. The thing is, Bill actually has a point this time. Brooke trademarking the Logan name years ago is one thing. Using that trademark to crush her own sister's dreams is another. Bill watched Katie get overlooked at Forrester for years, and he's not about to let Ridge and Brooke steamroll her again. Carter Walton points fingers. In a twist that might make Bill's head explode, Carter Walton blames him for permanently damaging Brooke and Katie's relationship. Yes, Carter, the same man who's been advising Brooke on protecting her trademark, is now saying Bill is the problem. The audacity! Carter's argument probably centers on Bill funding Katie's fashion house and encouraging her to compete with Forrester in the first place. If Bill hadn't bankrolled Katie's dreams, she wouldn't have tried to use the Logan name, and the sisters wouldn't be at war. It's a logical argument, but Bill is absolutely not going to accept responsibility for any of this. He backed his wife. That's what husbands do. Whether Carter is genuinely concerned about the Logan sisters or just trying to deflect blame from Brooke's corner remains to be seen. But telling Bill Spencer that something is his fault is a bold strategy that rarely ends well for anyone. Katie breaks down to Bill. While Bill is out there fighting her battles, Katie gets emotional with him about Brooke's misdeeds on Wednesday. This is the moment where Katie finally lets out all the hurt and frustration she's been carrying about her sister's betrayal. Katie has spent her entire life in Brooke's shadow. She's watched Brooke get the spotlight, the men, and the glory while she worked behind the scenes. Now, when she finally has a chance to build something of her own, Brooke is using a decades-old trademark to shut her down. The tears are going to flow, and Bill is going to get even more fired up to destroy anyone who hurt his wife. Heather Tom is going to deliver on Wednesday. She always does when Katie gets emotional scenes, and this one has been building for weeks. Katie isn't just sad about the trademark. She's grieving the relationship she thought she had with her sister. Bill Spencer loses his entire mind on Ridge Forrester in Wednesday's explosive Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful is shaping up to be one of those hours fans will still be talking about weeks later. This is not a quiet, tense confrontation or a polite exchange of barbed words. This is Bill Spencer unleashed. According to spoilers, Bill absolutely explodes on Ridge Forrester over the Logan sister war, and the fallout ripples through multiple relationships at once. Marriages, sibling bonds, and long-standing rivalries that were already hanging by a thread. At the center of it all is one simple truth. Nobody messes with Katie Logan Spencer and walks away unscathed. Not Brooke, not Ridge, not even the Forrester dynasty. Bill Spencer has reached his breaking point. Bill Spencer is not a man known for subtlety, and Wednesday proves that once again. When spoilers say Bill angrily confronts Ridge Forrester, that description barely scratches the surface. Bill doesn't do restrained. He doesn't do calm discussions when someone hurts his wife. He does scorched earth. The Logan trademark war has officially crossed a line. What started as a professional disagreement between sisters has escalated into something deeply personal, and Bill recognizes that immediately. Brooke's decision to block Katie from using the Logan name isn't just a legal maneuver. It's a power play that humiliates Katie and undermines her independence. From Bill's perspective, Ridge has been complicit every step of the way. Brooke may be the one wielding the trademark, but Ridge is standing right beside her, benefiting from the fallout while pretending to stay neutral. That is exactly the kind of hypocrisy Bill Spencer cannot tolerate. So when Bill storms into Ridge's orbit on Wednesday, he's not just confronting a rival. He's defending his marriage, his wife's dignity, and years of emotional damage Katie has quietly endured. Bill Spencer versus Ridge Forrester. Decades of bad blood reignite. Bill Spencer and Ridge Forrester fighting is practically a bold and the beautiful tradition. These two have been clashing since Bill first came to Los Angeles with his money, his swagger, and his refusal to bow to Forrester royalty. They don't just dislike each other. They fundamentally reject what the other represents. Bill sees Ridge as a man who inherited power and hides behind legacy. Ridge sees Bill as a brute who buys influence instead of earning respect. Neither view is entirely wrong, which is why their confrontations always crackle with intensity. Wednesday's explosion taps directly into that history. This isn't just about Katie. It's about Ridge once again benefiting from a system that sidelines her. Bill has watched Katie be overlooked, undervalued, and dismissed at Forrester Creations for years. She contributed, she sacrificed, she stayed loyal, and when she finally steps out to build something of her own, Brooke and Ridge close ranks to shut her down. For Bill, this isn't business. This is betrayal. The Logan name, a symbol of power and control. The trademark itself is a ticking time bomb. Brooke trademarking the Logan name years ago was controversial even then, but using it now against her own sister takes things to another level. Katie isn't trying to steal Brooke's legacy. She's trying to claim her own. The Logan name belongs to all three sisters, not just the one who happened to file paperwork first. That's the emotional core of this conflict, and it's why Bill reacts so fiercely. Ridge may argue that Brooke is simply protecting what's legally hers, but Bill doesn't care about legal technicalities. He cares about intent, and the intent, from his perspective, is clear. Brooke is blocking Katie out of fear and control, not necessity. Wednesday's confrontation forces Ridge to face that reality head-on, whether he likes it or not. Carter Walton turns the spotlight on Bill. Just when Bill is at peak rage, Carter Walton throws gasoline on the fire. According to spoilers, Carter actually blames Bill for permanently damaging Brooke and Katie's relationship, and that accusation is almost guaranteed to push Bill over the edge. From Carter's point of view, Bill is the catalyst. Bill funded Katie's fashion house. Bill encouraged her to compete. Bill emboldened her to stand up to Brooke and the Forresters. Without Bill's backing, the argument goes, none of this would have happened. It's a neat, logical argument on paper, but it ignores one critical fact. Katie wouldn't need Bill's support if she hadn't been marginalized in the first place. Bill didn't create the resentment between Brooke and Katie. He simply gave Katie the resources to stop swallowing it. That distinction matters to Bill, and he's not about to accept blame for supporting his wife's dream. Carter's accusation also reeks of deflection. By shifting responsibility onto Bill, Carter conveniently sidesteps Brooke's role in escalating the conflict. Whether Carter genuinely believes what he's saying or is just protecting Brooke remains an open question. But either way, he's playing a dangerous game by pointing fingers at Bill Spencer, a husband who refuses to apologize for loyalty. What makes this storyline so compelling is that Bill is objectively doing what many viewers wish other characters would do more often. stand up for their spouse without hesitation. Bill does not apologize for backing Katie. He does not second-guess funding her company, and he absolutely does not regret challenging the Forresters. In his mind, being a good husband means fighting the battles Katie is too hurt or too exhausted to fight herself. This is not Bill trying to control Katie's life. This is Bill amplifying her voice. That distinction matters, especially when contrasted with how often Katie's feelings have been dismissed by her own family. Katie breaks down, the emotional core of the episode. While Bill is out confronting Ridge and clashing with Carter, the emotional heart of Wednesday's episode belongs to Katie Logan Spencer. According to spoilers, Katie breaks down with Bill over Brooke's betrayal. And this is where the story stops being about trademarks and starts being about lifelong wounds. Katie's tears aren't just about the Logan name. They're about a lifetime of living in Brooke's shadow. Brooke was always the star, the romantic lead, the one whose choices drove the family narrative. Katie, meanwhile, was the dependable one, the fixer, the sister who supported everyone else while quietly swallowing her own disappointment. Now, when Katie finally takes a risk and builds something for herself, Brooke shuts her down. Not gently, not privately, publicly and decisively. That's the betrayal that cuts deepest. Heather Tom excels in these moments, and Wednesday gives her the kind of emotional material she handles better than almost anyone. Katie isn't just angry. She's grieving the sister she thought she had, the equality she believed existed, and the illusion that Brooke would ever truly put her first. Bill's rage makes more sense than ever. Katie's breakdown only fuels Bill's fury. Hearing the depth of her pain confirms what he already suspected. This isn't a misunderstanding that can be smoothed over with apologies. This is a fundamental fracture. Bill doesn't just want Ridge to understand that Brooke hurt Katie. He wants Ridge to feel the consequences of standing by while it happened. And if Ridge insists on playing the supportive husband while ignoring the damage done to Katie, Bill is more than willing to become the villain in Ridge's story. Brooke's silence speaks volumes. One of the most striking elements of this storyline is Brooke's position, or lack thereof. While Bill and Ridge clash and Katie falls apart, Brooke remains largely shielded behind legal rights and Ridge's support. That silence is deafening. Brooke may believe she's justified, but every moment she allows Ridge to absorb Bill's rage without stepping in only reinforces the idea that she's prioritizing power over family. For viewers, this makes Brooke's eventual reckoning feel inevitable. Whether that reckoning comes through guilt, backlash, or long-term estrangement remains to be seen. But Wednesday's episode pushes Brooke closer to that moment. The fallout is just beginning. Wednesday's confrontation is not a one-and-done explosion. It's a turning point. Bill and Ridge's rivalry is officially reignited. Katie and Brooke's relationship may be permanently altered. Carter has inserted himself into a war he may not be able to escape. Most importantly, the lines have been drawn. Bill Spencer has chosen his side, loudly and without apology. And once Bill digs in, history shows he doesn't back down easily. Why this episode matters. This episode works because it taps into long-running emotional truths instead of manufactured drama. Katie's pain is earned. Bill's rage is justified. Ridge's defensiveness is consistent with his past. Brooke's blind spot feels painfully familiar. This isn't spectacle for spectacle's sake. It's character-driven conflict that rewards long-time viewers who understand the history behind every raised voice and every tear. Wednesday isn't just explosive, it's consequential. And by the time the shouting stops, nothing between the Logans, the Spencers, and the Forresters will be the same again. B&B spoilers. Deacon played himself. Can Sheila take Aiel Giardino? The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates tease that Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, might find herself accusing Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, of design theft. She could make these claims without realizing that Eric Forrester, John McCook, is actually part of Katie Logan Spencer's Heather Tom team. Eric had a pitch ready when Ridge put him out to pasture, Previously, when Eric was aiming for a comeback at Forrester Creations, he had a pitch in mind. Although he didn't have enough designs for a complete collection, he was making good progress and wanted to demonstrate to Ridge Forrester, Torsten K, what he was still capable of contributing. Unfortunately, that plan fell through when Ridge surprised Eric with a retirement party and pushed him out the door instead. Eric never had the chance to show Ridge those designs, but one Forrester employee did catch a glimpse of them in the showroom. Steffi instantly recognized her grandfather's artistry and was truly impressed by Eric's sketches. Steffi's still in favor of Eric's retirement, especially since Finn thinks it's best. Nonetheless, Steffi is still in favor of Eric's retirement, especially since John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, agrees it's in his best interest for his well-being, considering the history with his heart. This is where the plot thickens, as Eric remains unaware that Steffi has already viewed those designs, and this seems a little bit strange. Is there a specific reason why B&B allowed Steffi access to the sketches? Possibly for her to remember them? Eric boasts incredible work that risks being lost unless he discovers an alternative way to contribute to the fashion scene. Yet, Eric might be hesitant to provoke further discord with Ridge and the others. Enter the Logan trademark drama. Not to mention, there's all this drama surrounding the Logan trademark that will unfold. It would be quite challenging for the esteemed Eric Forrester to begin designing at Katie's fashion house at this moment, at least publicly. What if Eric chooses to assist Katie while keeping his involvement under wraps? Perhaps he could contribute anonymously for now and still experience a sense of fulfillment. Eric and Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn seem ready to be partners, but that could get complicated if Steffi spots her grandfather's creations on the runway and suspect Deke stole Eric's designs. Steffi could accuse him of theft and potentially threaten legal action, which might compel Eric to reveal himself as a covert designer on Katie's team.